Hey, Mike, this is Chris up top. So I got two questions for you. How long do you think it'll be before that's illegal? And number two, are you using robots in your voicemails, or are you actually using a real human voice on your direct VMs?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm also an attorney by trade, and I kind of grew up in this space when I was practicing law. So there are a couple of different states that have banned it. And so there are a lot of different things, that are, banned within states. So I would obviously tell people to take a look at their jurisdictions and see whether or not it's there. Look, it's been around actually for a long time. And so I'm not talking about a voice broadcast. Talking about a ringless voicemail drop. So voice broadcasts are the things that are used that are really causing a lot of problems. And then also when you're talking about using things like an automated system, which in fact, if you look at the consumer protection laws in each state and also on a federal level, a lot of those using those devices like a predictive dialer, in fact, are illegal under the different, on a state by state basis and also on a federal level. So I don't know that it's going to be outright banned. Some states have done it as well. And so when you say robot, I'm not sure I understand your question, but when we leave a voicemail, it's actually a voicemail that we record, and then when someone calls it back, it goes to usually like an IVR system where it gives the customer the options. Press 1, press 2, things like
that. Amazing feedback. I've actually heard that's remarkable for conversion in regards of people who are either, selling a product or a course online. And sometimes people are really busy and they don't see their emails, or it ends up in the spam. And I think I read somewhere recently that it's over 80% or even 90%, over 90% chance that if you do send a text message out, that they're going to see it. On the other hand, the emails are usually, they say, around between 5 to 20%. So obviously, this is a service that you don't want to overuse. But it is something very impactful and effective when you're doing a launch. Honestly, thank you, Mike, for the feedback. It's a very informative, and it's something that's not discussed very often. And although it's been around for a while, that you've mentioned, I've only heard about it in the last few weeks. So I can only imagine how resourceful it's been for a lot of companies and businesses out there. Yeah, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, the other thing too, Chris, as well, is so we use it a lot. So I have thousands and thousands and thousands every week and every month of continuities. My company primarily focuses on selling supplements, and so one of the things that we do is we'll drop a voicemail into customers' phones to let them know, hey, we're about to, your product's about to ship. We usually do it 3 days prior because sometimes they forget, so we don't want to hit anybody's card without them knowing. So we do that. We also do a ringless voicemail drop to let them know that a product is shipped, and then it gives them the ability to then call the number back. And when they call it back, we have our IVR system set up so that it integrates with the shipping information. So it'll actually give them the shipping information. So rather than having a human make that phone call, we drop the message. And then it goes into our IVR, which gives the customer the ability to track it. So it actually really increases the customer experience. You're right. You don't want to just slam people's phone numbers. That's not what we do. But if you've never used it before, I mean, it's crazy. The response that you'll get and the ROI. I mean, the first time we used it, we got a 10-to-1 return on investment. And, look, as the numbers age and as your customer database ages, they become less and less effective. But if you integrate it and make it a part of your overall marketing and in your overall customer experience, you'll find that your customers will actually be happier because, especially with COVID, I mean, we all have different types of businesses and we've all had all sorts of different forms of disruption. And for us, it was able to, where you could reach to, when you're dealing with a large data set like we have, it's really difficult to get customers to even pick up the phone, right? Because there's all this different technology that's also blocking numbers as well as spam numbers, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can drop a voicemail and leave them a message that's important to them, like, hey, don't worry, your product just shipped out, or hey, we also gave you a refund, the efficiency on it is unbelievable. And so the cost there, if you look at the cost versus using, even someone from outside of the United States, it's just really effective and can really increase your overall efficiency. So you're right, Chris, you should everyone should take a look at it. But as far as the different states and the municipalities, but it's definitely something you should look at as a.
And Mike, this is Chris speaking. You are doing it the right way. It's actually consumers. You're collecting the phone numbers. We collect phone numbers on webinars, and if somebody sees our call to action or they hit our cart page, we call them direct. The reason I'm saying it is because there are I have friends who are probably some of the best affiliate marketers in the world, and they buy phone lists, they upload it, and they do it with SMS as well too. It costs them the same amount, and they send it towards affiliate offers, whether it's December time when the health insurance is going to roll in. They also do it for auto insurance. There's a couple different verticals, even for loans and stuff like that. So eventually, marketers, especially affiliate marketers that do use a lot of black hat techniques, ruin everything. And that's why I said
they are the guys that ruin it, man.
Do you think before it's completely illegal? And that's why I had asked that. But Charlie, go ahead. I saw you unmute yourself.
No, I was just really enjoying this thing. I think Chris, I think you really hit where I was going to. In the use case of it, I think if you're utilizing it where somebody opts in, they expect that, and it's used as customer service. I think it's really powerful. I'm thinking of it as just an extension of SMS, but any way that you can make those things, as long as you're staying in the good with your customers. I'm really interested to see the impact, the longevity of it. But it does seem like another great touch point. As long as you're doing everything above board, it would be a value add.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know that we're kind of going along in this, but I think it's something that, again, a lot of marketers should look at. And Charlie and Chris, you guys are exactly right. And so, look, I can't stand affiliate marketers. And if you're one of them, I apologize, because they don't care about the customer. They don't care about the merchant. They're run and gun. They get in and out. And so for us, I've been in business selling dietary supplements for close to 20 years collectively, and 12 on my own. And so, if you're just buying lists and just slamming lists, that shit isn't going to work. It's not going to be that effective. You're going to get hammered with BBB stuff, and then you are going to come across class action lawyers that are going to really disrupt your business. So you're right. If you're collecting the data, especially if you're also letting the customers know, like, hey, we are going to use any and all means necessary to reach out to you and let the customers know that, then that's okay. And they can certainly opt out. And if you're using some of these services as well, that'll essentially scrub the numbers against any sort of DNCs, then you just kick those out altogether. Even though this falls outside of any DNC rules, you're right. I mean, if it's your own database and your own people, absolutely. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't use it. And if you have a customer that ultimately complains, then you just kick them out. It's that simple.
Yeah, I think anytime you're introducing new behavior, I mean, any marketer with their soul will tell you the hardest thing to do is train a customer to behave in the way that you want them to, especially if it's new. So this being disruptive to that ecosystem, it sounds very similar to when I started to do, product tracking and sending receipts via SMS or even Facebook Messenger. Like 3 years ago, when that became an option, and it was like, oh, you're now inside my Facebook. It seems very odd, but now that is a highly commonplace thing where you can allow the person to opt in to the best path to them. So it seems as long as you're using it above board, and if you're not, well, it's not going to be good for your business long term anyway. But let's not get carried away. Affiliate marketers aren't the only ones that don't really care about their customer. I can't tell you how many millions of dollars how many hundreds of millions I've spent at ad agencies for people that didn't give a fuck about the person on the other end of that ad.
I agree, man. I agree. I just, you're right. I painted a pretty broad brush there, so I'll take it back a little bit. So I apologize if I offended.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I love it when people give performance marketers more credit. I'll take it all the time. Now, Tim Cook wasn't necessarily wrong when he called us all hucksters. I try not to take it personally.
So, Charlie, I had a quick question. Does Facebook Ads Manager, I know that I haven't seen this before in Facebook, but does it give you the option to include phone numbers as a form of retargeting?
Phone numbers is an element that you can upload into a custom audience. However, it would only be additional match information. It's not going to be, if you were to upload just a list of phone numbers, that's not enough information. And not to get terribly deep, but let me just make it this way.
it's effectively an Excel spreadsheet, and you need multiple match points in order to in order to be able to introduce that person into a custom audience. And generally speaking, that's like first name, last name, email, phone number, something, or first name, phone number, address. Those are all potential things, but you need, generally speaking, 3 match points to have a decent quality data set. And I think that's one of the things that people don't look into when uploading custom audiences.
Absolutely. Thank you for your feedback. So for all of you who are new in the room, this is the Marketing Mastery Club. See the green box above me. Do follow the club so you can be notified. Also, make sure that you follow the moderators. We have experts on this panel, including the people on stage with us pertaining to digital marketing. Be sure to press the bell sign and so you can be notified whenever we open up this room. Today, we're talking about digital marketing that works in 2021, and we have some new people on the stage. I just want to say hello to Keontae. It's nice to have you here, always sharing stages with you. And I'd love for you to share with us 2021 digital marketing strategy that you've used and you found effective for you.
Always a pleasure to be in your environment. For me, I am traditionally a promotional guy in terms of events and a PR guy. So I haven't really done digital marketing for clients at all. But I am developing my own brand currently. And so I am currently preparing my digital marketing strategy for this brand. So I'll give you a few tidbits. I'm not going to go into too much detail because what I'm going to do with this brand is going to be a little unique. So the first thing I'm definitely going to do is that I've already done is I've procured every necessary screen name possible. That also includes the .com address, but that also includes the screen name on Instagram for the titles of the book, as well as, because the book title is the brand. The book title is the brand, but because this is the way that we're positioning it, we're actually going to be producing a whole fleet of other products that have nothing to do with the book. It's just branding. So step 1, develop my social media presence. Step 2, I'm going to pay off some influencers. At the same time, I'm reviewing a digital agency to work with. I taught this class with someone, and she's really excellent, so I'm probably going to give the business to her. But I'm just going to try to develop a seamless online presence coupled with properly targeted ads. We actually today, I filmed some promos. I filmed the first round of promos for my first 2 books, just to get it out the way. But I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I can't really go into too much more detail, but that's really like my strategy.
That's okay. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So he mentioned something that's very important, and that's influencer marketing. And I think we didn't really touch up on it, and I know some other stages touch up on it. But I would have to say that it is one of the most impactful forms of digital marketing out there. But you do have to do your research on the influencer and the audience that is following them. Now, regardless of the influencer's net worth or how much finance they're making, or whether they live in their mother's basement or in a penthouse condo, the people who are following them could be, say, for example, a comedian You could have millionaires, you potentially have billionaires, you can have entrepreneurs, you can have people that might be looking for your product or service. And especially in this age right now during the pandemic, a lot of influencers are looking for products that they can promote because they're unable to travel. They don't have the opportunity to in some countries there's a lot of restrictions and obviously capacity control issues. So right now influencers are doing some of the best deals that they've ever done to promote a product or service. So I do encourage many of you to consider looking into an influencer and reaching out to them and seeing what sort of deal you can strike with them to promote your product, because it is an effective way. Of course, there's other ways to get your product and service out there, but it's definitely something that you'd want to consider, especially in today's age. So today we're talking about digital marketing, and I think we have Jaden on stage. Are you here, Jaden? Maybe not.
Hey, Sam, I'm here. I'm actually on a treadmill. I just get off a treadmill.
So we have Jaden on stage. Thank you for joining us, Jaden. We'd love to hear from you. I just checked out your Instagram. It looks really good and very informative. Please share with us some things that work for you in pertaining to digital marketing in 2021.
Yeah, Sammy, thanks for inviting me up on the share stage with everyone. So I might be out of breath, so excuse me. I've been running my high-intensity cardio. Okay. So the strategy that we've been using that's really helped so far and going to be applied to every sorts of industry as well. It's offline and then online. So it's a 3-part process. And then the offline, what we do is for my entire team, they're going to write a handwritten letter to all those deals they couldn't close, whoever they're responsible for and whatever kind of rapport they have. And they're going to write this little thoughtful letter in short. But the key theme through the entire letter is they're always going to ask this question at the very end: have you given up? Now, this specific question is going to pique curiosity and get people to be motivated to actually, so you can smoke mirrors, or you can actually get an answer why they didn't do business. This is the strategy that I cooked up, courtesy of the FBI former agent in his book. What was that book again? Never Split the Difference with Chris Voss. So if anyone's ever read the book, there's a specific line in there where he was just saying he was going through a transaction for one of his clients, and his brother and this other person who were trying to pay each other money or pay out for the company. And his brother or his lawyer at the time kind of ignored them. So Chris Voss in the book was saying, if you just email a specific line, did you give up or have you given up? I can't remember exactly the line because I read the book so long ago. But it prompted a response. And I didn't know why, psychologically, why that would get someone to actually prompt a response. It's kind of like rude or aggressive, but it works. So anyways, I took that and I put in these handwritten letters and got my entire team to do it. And it prompts a response. And at the very end of this question, they'll put their phone in. Now, that's one part. And then after they sent this out, our online second step of the 3-part process is that we'll have an email campaign set up on ClubHouse. So ClubHouse is an email software that we use. And then we'll have an email campaign scheduled a week from exactly when everyone's emailed out their specific letter. And this is something they do over the course of the day. So they block out their whole day to do this, so everything can be timed. So we have this email campaign set for a week of when they sent it out. And this email campaign, its objective is to get the person to buy whatever the product or course that they didn't buy. And the email will just kind of go over, in a nutshell, hey, the headline is, did you receive my letter? And then in just 3 short sentences, like, I hope you read my letter. It's unfortunate that we couldn't do business with you. Love to still earn your business. If you have not given up, click this button. And there will be a button in the email. They will click that button, and it will lead them to a checkout page of the product that they initially were going to buy, but they didn't for whatever reason. Okay? And since they wrote the offline strategy with that little handwritten letter, there's a 90% open rate and a 70% conversion rate. So for every 10 customers, 7 will actually opt in based on that strategy alone. For the 30% of that 90 that didn't work out comes our last strategy. And that last strategy is 2 days from that first email campaign that was sent out. So it would basically be a calendar link to get that person on the phone with a representative that sent out that handwritten letter to get on the phone. And there's been a 100% closing rate every single time a person books a call with a representative on the calendar. And that's something we do for all the ghosted deals and all the failed deals. It's a foolproof strategy that my team and I came up with. So if someone wants to try it out and have some fun with it, it works. If you're actually handwriting letter, the one thing I will point out is this has to be handwritten, not your typical generic letter where you have, the message already kind of automated or pasted on a specific note and then you just sign it. It doesn't work like that. You have to sit down and handwrite a letter. So that's my offline and online strategy. That's literally captured about 90% of our failed deals or ghosted deals. So this is Jaden with the yellow background. I'm done speaking.
Wow. Say how amazing Jaden is. He was one of the first guys that I met here on Clubhouse. Totally saved my ass on a Facebook campaign we were doing, and just got on the phone with me. Jaden, man, you're a total rock star. You really know your stuff, and so thanks for sharing that. Because by the way, I emailed myself in the subject line, "Have you given up?" Because I'm going to implement that myself in my company. Dude, they're just gold, man. Absolute gold.
Jaden, I have to say, you need to get on Amazon, buy a microphone, just so that when it arrives, you can drop that thing on the floor. That was gold, absolute gold. This is Robert talking, and that was gold, absolute gold.
Jaden left no stones unturned. He chased down every single member on his email list. That is a true entrepreneur. That is a true digital marketer. So hats off to you, Jaden, and thank you so much for sharing your strategies with us. So do you find, Jaden, that this strategy works better when you're selling a service such as a course, or would this work as well when you're selling a product?
Yeah, great question. I'll kind of just say the reason why I want to touch base with every client is because you got to understand in sales, right? A no either means they don't know enough to say yes, or a no is an opportunity for you to get a yes at a later time. A customer will never buy from you if you don't give up, right? They can either get cancer or they will ghost you. But if you don't give up on them, then they'll never give up on you. So that's how I kind of view it. And it's just like Frank don't say it, right? The money is going to follow. So that's why I care about every single client, whether they're customers now or customers later. I care about every single person because we're in the business of doing business with other people. So to answer your question there, Sammy, I'm still on the treadmill. I find this very, very useful for every industry, more so the higher ticket, kind of product. So you're obviously not going to do something if you're like network marketing or something like MLM where you're selling a $50 product because it wouldn't be much use for your time. However, let's just say you are an MLM and you sell a lower ticket item that's like $50 or $60, right? Your time is precious. But how you can streamline this if you use the same strategy, which I have for lower ticket items that we call as loss leaders, is that either one, you're trying to collect information, or two, you have a huge database of people that you touch base with that did not buy this lower ticket item. You'll just do the first step, and the second step, I can almost guarantee you, depending on the rapport you have, that you didn't turn off the customer and your discovery call or your second follow-up, 9% of the time, the customers will buy this product again. So it's a very manual thing, but it's also a great thing for you to kind of lower your time in terms of your cost of time because you've already targeted this customer. So it's great in that aspect. But this is amazing for higher ticket products because the reason why most customers don't buy a higher ticket product is because they either don't trust you or they see no value, right? And most of the time, it's probably because they don't trust you. It's the value because you've done your work, you understand the sales process and the funnel, and you've done, your qualifying and that fun stuff. But the higher ticket stuff, it works 9% of the time, provided you actually gave them a good service and you didn't treat them poorly when they said no to you. So that's kind of my answer. I hope that kind of helps clarify things there, Sammy. Because Jaden does speak.
Wow, thank you, Jaden, for your feedback. That's actually incredible advice that we can all learn from. A lot of us are just focused on
Let me get JT. We have JT in the room. Welcome, JT. Thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure, CEO Sammy.
So today we're talking about digital marketing, but we don't want it to be general. We're trying to take it to the next level. And Jaden was just sharing with us some strategies he has on almost closing 100% of the leads that they generate through a multiple ways of reaching out to them and having them psychologically just wanting to get in and enroll with them. So thank you for joining us, JT. And so today we're talking about digital marketing that works in 2021. Please make sure you follow the club, the greenhouse above me, and follow the moderators that are in here. We're all spending time giving as much value as we can to make sure that you guys are successful in your businesses. So I'm leaving this discussion open in regards of anyone who has digital marketing strategies that they've used in 2021 that they felt was something that was impactful and has changed their business and turned it around.
I can add something since I'm in here. So I have a sort of like, first of all, when I take a look at leads, especially I do digital marketing, you have to develop a business model. And a business model is something that's sustainable, predictable, and consistent. So the first thing you do is step number one. You have to take a look at is what's the most cost-effective lead generation you're going to do first and foremost, right? The best bang for your buck and the one that's most likely going to work yourself. And the most important thing is to know your numbers in advance, because have some kind of, too many people will spend $5,000 and then they just hope that they make their money. Like you really have to do, what's my cost per lead? What's my cost per lead, per cost per acquisition, cost per conversion? So the first thing is, and I'll take a look at every single lead source and I have to track, because after I'm done a campaign, I may say, okay, I'm spending a lot more money on LinkedIn, but the cost per lead, but the back end of it is way bigger. So first of all, at first, especially when you have limited funds, right? It's different when you have a lot of funds and you have a lot of money, you test things like that. You got to go with what's going to be the most cost effective. But here's the thing too, you can't base it on referrals. The biggest problem is that most businesses, 96% of businesses don't get to over $1 million in revenue. Why? Because they rely on referrals. And if your business is based on referrals, then you don't have a business. It means you're good at what you do, but you have that sustainability. So the second thing is I will actually test sales and conversion, because it's not about lead generation, it's about sales conversion. And so what we do is we will do in increments of 100. So if we have 1,000 leads, okay, I will then group into 10 different categories and try 10 different closing strategies. That's how much testing we do at our organization. Because after 100 leads each, I have an idea. How many people said yes? How many people said no? How many people, exited the shopping cart? Like whatever strategy. How many people signed up but didn't show up for an event? I mean, you could do this for various things, because the key to successful sales conversion is test, 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 and then retest. Too many people spray and then pray. So you just throw something against the wall and you see what sticks as well. So when we do a new campaign, we really try to get 1,000 leads, because that's going to give us. And then we're then going to take the 4 best conversions out of those 10. And then what we'll do is we'll divide them 250 for the next 1,000. We'll do 250, 250, 250, 250. And then we'll have a winner, either 1 or 2 strategy, but actually it usually goes into 1, believe it or not. And based on that 1, then we focus on the first sale, okay? What's going to be the first thing we're going to offer them? But we always have a down sell. First sell, what's the down sell? Okay. What's the resell? Okay. And what's the exit pop-up is saying that once in a lifetime opportunity. Okay. So that's the strategy. And then we're thinking about once they buy the next sale, we're actually going to map up the strategy over a period, right? And we do that by becoming valuable, by becoming indispensable, by under-promising, over-deliver. Okay, but we are more focused on client retention than we are on client acquisition, because it costs 26 times more to get a new customer than it is to work on an existing one. So what we do is and ironically enough, John Laguerre, former CEO of T-Mobile, said something similar yesterday, that even though they have like hundreds of millions of customers, one customer was assigned to at least 20 reps, so that anytime they called in, they can at least recognize one of the 20 they've spoken to as well. Why? Because the customer does not want to feel like another number. Okay. It's that relational capital. Now, where else did we see that, right? I'm a big favor of conceptual implementation. Something that is common as dirt as one industry can have the effect of an atom bomb in another one. So I looked at Zappos, and there's a great book on Zappos, The Pursuit of Happiness, right? About how they allowed their customers to spend 2 hours on the phone and order other stuff. And I'm like, why would they do that too? Because they create a bond. People are looking the same way people go to church, the same way they're part of sports team, the same way people want to break brands. They want to be part of something. So what you're doing with a great client retention, customers buy once from clients buy ever, you're building that retention. You're building that relationship, right? And you make it around a number. In our case, our motto is family first. We treat our clients like family. That's the culture of my organization. So in any business, whether it's investments or anything like that, we have that relationship. And I go to our people, our staff, our customer service, or acquisitions manager, whatever businesses they're in, my CEO, would you treat your family like that? That don't treat mine like that. So the same way Apple has a culture, same way, say small businesses, a lot of times they don't have a culture. They just do what they do. And what makes these biggest company in the world, whether it's Virgin or Tesla or that, they build a culture and they build a community. And once you have your culture, that's your people, and you have a community and they merge, that's how you build a mega brand as well. Okay. And then I take a look at what's called the profit multipliers. I look at multiple streams of income that are easy to be duplicable. And just like Apple, right? I'm always thinking, how can I take this product and have a certain update or an improvement every single year? Because I know that clients are going to keep buying over and over. Apple does not need to sell me when they come up with a new phone, a new product. I'm already sold, right? Because here's the thing too. My last point is, are you a luxury or are you a necessity? Now, luxury is not based on price. A necessity is they need your product, they need your service, they need to do business with you. A luxury is, I can go without it. So yeah, it's expensive, or I don't really need it. So the key is, can you set yourself up as a luxurious necessity? So price is not an issue, because no matter how much you charge, you create what's called brand insistence. And when you create brand insistence, right, then your funnel is as tight as it can be in your sales process. And that's how you build a super brand. And that's how you build an empire. This is JT. These are my thoughts. And if you like more information tonight, I am going to, at 8 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to tell you how to build and monetize relationships with anybody. How to talk to anybody, get their cell phones, get them to do business with you, get them attention. I have a 10-step script. You want to go vertical? I'm going to go way vertical. But only if you click on my face and you follow me, because unfortunately, my rooms now, if you don't follow me, you cannot see them. That's how we're keeping them. We also have a couple of Zab Judah, a couple of celebrity interviews going to come in as well. But I'm literally we're going to go stories about how I've built relationships with billionaires, people with money, normal people with money, celebrities and everything. And how do you get them to get their attention? How do you stand out? Right? Because most people live in an ocean of sameness. I'm going to show you how to live in a lake of distinction. This is JT. And click on my face and follow me. And also, too, if you'd like me to mentor you for free, head to my Instagram account. Every day I mentor people for free, unless today was the first day I didn't do it in a very long time as well. I love disrupting the market. I love sort of thinking 8 moves ahead. And I know this room is all about that. So is that enough advance for you, Sammy?
Ooh, oh, man, I don't even know what to say. The mic dropped.